Okay, I don't often do things with the NWA. Yes, I do watch the NWA. So if you have some questions, feel free to throw those in the chat. So, with this one, I decided to go with Nia Jax and Max the Impaler. Now, Max the Impaler is referred to as a non-binary nightmare. I will try my absolute best to not go through the process of misgendering. If I do happen to, it's not out of malice, it's out of force of habit. The better part of 40 years I've spent, using pronouns in a certain way. So of course this we have Nia Jax, who's not like most girls. Now if you see Max the Impaler, you're like, wow, that looks an awful lot like Valhalla. Max the Impaler has been doing this before Valhalla. If you have not seen Max the Impaler, you can find lots of their stuff on YouTube. Um, of course, NWA. They have also gone to other promotions. I believe Max is also currently like a princess champion, so she won one of the belts in Japan, which is an interesting match to watch someone with this sort of gravitas and a significantly smaller person. But with both of these, Max is on the larger side. So Max is 5'10", 209. Nia Jax, 6 foot, 272. So you've got two very, very large, very powerful, very imposing wrestlers. So go right into this. And as always, just because someone gets the point in something doesn't mean that they're supremely perfect at it. They're just slightly better. So strength. Nia Jax is pretty much on the larger side overall in general, and definitely has much more in the way of a power game when it comes to wrestling men. Max has done quite a few intergender matches, normally against significantly smaller individuals, but they have had a pretty good run against men. But no men that have been the exact same size as what Nia has been able to successfully manhandle. I guess it's a woman handle. Speed. When you watch Max in a match, there's a certain level of explosiveness that, given given their size, it's impressive. They definitely have the ability of taking some abuse and then just exploding from the corner. Very fantastic, fun style to watch. Endurance, also give this one to Max. Max has definitely been in longer matches, been in more grueling matches, and it's not what we see from Nia Jax. That's just not the direction that they normally go with her. Nia Jax is normally brought in, bits and pieces of the multi-person matches. She's not there for a longer sort of match. Toughness, same thing. Give it to Max. Max did a feud with Natalia Markova at one of the NWA events, and they use like caskets, and so they have definitely been in some significantly more brutal brawls recently than what Nia Jax has been in. Striking. I'm also going to give striking to Max. So Max's finisher is a fantastically brutal lariat. When you watch Max work, there's there's very much almost kind of like I'll say like that late 80s horror movie sort of vibe, where very much of the unstoppable brawler and a fantastic job, whether it's the cross faces, the clotheslines, just the big forearm shots. Max is definitely fun to watch when it comes to almost like a Vader-esque sort of strike set, and their clothesline is brutal to watch. I mean, I would put it right up there with almost like a JBL clothesline from hell, or like a Jax Dane pop the trunk level. Just levels people. It's fantastic to watch. Grappling. I'm going to give this one to Nia Jax, and with this one, Nia Jax definitely does do more in the way of slams. There's definitely more in the way of just, here's your more raw power moves. There might be the occasional power bomb, where that's not Max's bread and butter. Max's bread and butter is absorbing abuse, no selling a lot of it, and then just brutal punches and kicks. There's really no need for a fantastic suplex game or lots of slams or a power bomb. When the things that you can do require you to not have to lift up your opponent and you still just brutalize them, that sometimes your move set doesn't require you to do a lot of things, and that's perfectly fine. Yeah, submissions, high flying. I'm gonna skip those two. Neither one of them are known for their submission games. When it comes to high flying, there's no tope suicidas. There's no phoenix splashes from either one of these two. They're pretty much never leaving their feet. I'm not going to include something like a leg drop or a senton as being high flying. Neither one of them are doing diving clotheslines or anything like that. There's very little in the way of those sorts of things. Over with the crowd. Hear me on this one. Nia Jax doesn't have the best overall crowd reaction. There's a lot of eye rolling. Either there's a groan or an eye roll. Having said that, she has definitely made amends in the back. She did have some issues previously. Lots of those have been squashed, which is fine. But when you see Max the Impaler, watching Max come down the ring with Father James Mitchell, there's a very specific design and look and feel. When the music hits and you see, when Max comes down, there's normally a mask on top. Occasionally, they have on, trophies they've taken from the defeated opponents. There's a certain level of what in the world is that? That definitely does draw the crowd. It definitely does create just the right amount of buzz when you see Max make their way down to the ring. Ring psychology. I'm thinking this is more just having to do with the length of matches that I've seen Max be involved in. Max does a good job when it comes to selling when it's time to sell, and then when it's time to just be like, no, now this is the time when I kill you. Does a really great job with that. Knows how to sell just the right amount. Not always unstoppable, but just the right amount of unstoppability to make you truly believe that, this person may or may not have a chance. Max has done great work with former NWA Women's Champion Camille. Just some fantastic work. Did a great job when it came to just, there's a certain level of invulnerability, but then the right amount of vulnerability when just the right amount of damage is being done. And finally, mic work. Max doesn't need to talk. That's what Father James Mitchell is there for. Having said that, Father James Mitchell's style of promo is very specific. He's very spooky wooky, and that's fine. Unless he's taking a table bump. Yeah, I had to go there. Sorry. Where Nia Jax, you put the mic in front of her, she knows exactly what she's going to do. She knows exactly what she needs to say. And her character work makes sense using a microphone and talking to the crowd, interacting, doing a promo. That's not Max. Max is that ring psychology. It's that look. It's that gravitas. So I think if these two were to lock up, Max has put down larger, more dominant opponents. And I think that given the skills that Max brings and the style, having a heavy striking thing, having just giant lariats, giant clotheslines, back fists, those are things that work on every size opponent. And even though Nia Jax is definitely bigger and stronger, and she can probably definitely put a hurting on someone like Max, Max has shown that they have the ability to take just a tremendous amount of abuse and then just, pop that cork, hit one or two just incredibly take your head off, drive you to the mat sort of clotheslines. And I think if these two were to actually lock up, I definitely would have given the edge to Max the Impaler.